Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the New England Small Business Podcast, part of the 321 New England Podcast Network. My name is Ben Barber. I am your host for this episode of the show, and I am very excited to get to my guest for today, m.engles from Eastern Bank. Mark, how are you?
Ben, I'm doing well. Thank you for having me on.
Thank
I guess
you for being here.
I'll jump ahead of you. Always wanted to be on a podcast.
Yeah, you emailed me that last week.
I know.
And I loved that. Just go ahead.
No, I think like I listen to podcasts and I don't know. It just seems like the people that do them are just like talking about stuff they like and are interested in and have hobbies in, and just I don't know. It just and enjoying doing it, right? So I don't know. It always just I always wanted to like, God, I'd like to start a podcast, or I'd like to be on a podcast. So kind of pumped to, have you be my first.
Well, Mark, I think that you are already a natural at it, and I'm excited to have you on and to be your first podcast. And if you ever want to start one, I think I know a guy.
Okay, all
right. So tell me a little bit about Eastern Bank and how you got started there.
Yeah, so been with Eastern. It'll be 4 years this June. I came from Santander, and kind of to make a long story short, my manager at the time ended up leaving and got a job here. And then about a week or two later called and said, hey, I need an assistant branch manager. Why don't you come and work for me? It was a really good fit. We had worked together at Santander for a while. And that was kind of how I jumped in here. A little bit about Eastern there. So for a while, they were the oldest mutual bank in the country, which, basically just means they didn't have any shareholders to answer to or anything like that. But a little over a year and a half ago, that all changed when they went public and, came out with the IPO where they were going to be a publicly traded company. They opened Eastern didn't technically open their first branch in 1818. It was the Salem Savings Bank, which I believe is now a restaurant in Salem. But yeah, they are, I only have one other bank to compare it to, and I won't, I don't want this to come across as like me, bad mouthing Santander, but couldn't be any different. Just in terms of culture and, how they treat their employees. And that's not to say that I was treated, I'm not, again, not to say that I was treated bad at Santander.
Yeah, absolutely.
But just, they talk the talk and they walk the walk. Everything that I don't know if you've ever seen like any of their commercials or ads, but, one of their big slogans is join us for good. And it's kind of a twofold meaning, right? Join us for good. Most banks don't ever want anyone to close their account. But, also, hey, join us for good and see the good that we do, in and around the community. And that kind of lines up with, I guess my values and my beliefs. So it's a great fit. Really, really happy. And enjoy working here. It's a great place to work.
I love it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
How many branches are there of Eastern Bank?
So we actually recently just merged with Century Bank, which kind of was another local community bank. And through the merger, we closed a couple branches or consolidated branches with Century. So we went from, I think, about 88 branches to now we're right around 100. North Shore, a little bit of Metro West, downtown, South Shore, the Cape. Got a handful of branches up in New Hampshire. So they're starting to I think the idea is to hopefully expand and maybe get out into the Worcester area or Western Massachusetts, or hopefully even in New York, Maine. Try and get all of New England. So we'll see.
I love it. Very cool.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about, by the way, Eastern Bank. I mean, I think that Mark could not have spoken more highly of them a couple minutes ago. So if you are in the area where you can open up an account at Eastern Bank, or you need anything for any of those things, go to Eastern Bank. I'm going to deviate from that for a second because I think that banks are fairly easy sells. And I'm just gonna talk a little bit about your hobbies because you and I have never spoken before this one on one. So I'd love to take this opportunity to get to know you a little bit.
Yeah. No,
What are some
first time.
things you do?
So a little bit about me. I don't know. I like going to concerts. Over the pandemic, concerts weren't really a thing. I went to, I think it was I forget if it was, yeah, end of 2020. We went to a drive-in show where down on the Cape, I think it was in Falmouth. There's a drive-in, and they set up a stage, and it's same deal. Like if you were going to see a movie, you pull into your spot. They kind of separated the cars, and everybody kind of got their own, like, I guess, like almost like a 10 by 10 kind of dancing area, which I wouldn't mind that model going in the future. It kind of gave you your own space. It was nice, but yeah, I like going to concerts.
Favorite concert that you've ever seen?
Probably,
I put you on the spot.
yeah, probably Fish, February 28th, 2003. Yeah, it was either that or yeah, that was probably one of my favorite shows I've ever seen. Kind of outing myself a little bit here as somewhat of a hippie, but yeah, I've seen Fish probably close to 50 times. Another one of my favorite bands, band called the Disco Biscuits, which I assume probably not a ton of people are familiar with. Um,
I have at least heard of them.
okay, fair.
Yeah.
Um,
That's incredible. Okay, so hold on. Let's talk about Fish for a second.
sure.
Um, uh, do you have a favorite Fish song?
Yeah, for I'll say for a while it was First Tube, which was off of their, which ironically, when people start talking about Fish, they don't really get into like, oh, album talk, because they're a live band. You go
Yeah,
see them live in concert, but um, got a hold of their album Farmhouse. I don't know, probably 2001 or 2002, and it just that was one of the songs that caught me. Uh, was the first song that was played at my first show. Um, so yeah, probably have to go with First Tube. It's a nice little bouncy crowd rocker song that just gets people going. It's awesome.
I love it. I love it. I'm more of a I'm now I'm gonna out myself. Okay. I really enjoy 3.0 stuff. I
Oh,
really
look,
I really
and
love
hey,
it. I really love it. Although, and this I don't think is, but I think that my favorite song is definitely Waste.
oh, great song,
Yeah,
great song.
I think that that's my favorite song. But I love like people I I was almost gonna swear, not that kind of a show.
Fair.
People really like to poo poo the dad rock vibes right now. No, I love it. And Trey's new acoustic album, mwah, I'm so
Yeah,
excited about it.
I haven't had a chance to listen to the acoustic album, but look, the whole 3.0, like, hey, this is this is the stage they're at in their career. I think um, and a lot of people may not love all of the songs, but there's some good songs in there, and they jam some of those songs, which is that's the reason we're all there to see
Yep.
them, take them songs and take them out. So if they're playing stuff that they enjoy and are happy, I'm okay. Because there was a time where we didn't have fish, and for lack of better words, it stunk. So if they're playing music and happy doing it, I'm all for it. I'm not going to knock them for it.
Love it. You and I could probably talk about fish all day. What do you what other than music and concerts, what other sorts of things interest you?
So we're getting close to the summer. We're almost there. Love going to the beach. It's I could sit there all day. We go to Good Harbor Beach in Gloucester. I don't know if you're familiar with it. But it's a nice beach. It's clean. They take good care of it. There's a little snack shack there. Gets pretty busy in the summer. Usually sells out. So we actually go very early. They open at like 8:00, and we're usually in line by about 6:30, 6:45. And thankfully, my fiance, who I love, she's not a huge fan of the beach. She likes it, but it gets hot quick, and she doesn't. There's a ton of people, so we're there early. And then I don't know why I haven't been doing this, for as long as we've been going. But like one day we were sitting there, and I was like, "Hey, we're sitting because you sit in line for like 45 minutes to an hour waiting for them to open the gates." I was like, "Do you mind? Like, I'm just gonna go and sit on the beach." I was like, "I know you like to leave early." I was like, "So this will give me almost an extra hour, so that way." In a couple hours or a few hours when you're ready to go, I've had a good amount of beach time in. And she's like, "Yeah, go ahead. I don't care." So it's nice. I kind of sit there and, have the entire beach to myself for about an hour or so. Other than that, I like to golf. I'm not great at it. But it's kind of relaxing to just get out. I think I like driving the golf cart around. Maybe a little bit more than I like golfing, but no, it's fun. It's I'm getting a little bit better, but I'm still not great. And yeah, just kind of relaxing. We work 40 hours. I don't mind going home and just sitting and watching TV for 2-3 hours after dinner and then going to bed. Getting kind of a little boring, I guess, here in my older age, but
we're moving into Mark 3.0, honestly.
we are. Yeah.
So I'm going to pull all of your favorite things together in one. So I do the marketing for Musqueamicut Beach down in Westerly in Rhode Island. Nice. And we have one of the only drive-ins in the state. So there were during the pandemic, and still there have been a lot of concerts there, and I've live streamed some of the concerts for things. We did a live stream for G Love.
Okay. My baby's got sauce.
Yeah. and I was very there was a Dave Matthews concert that aired at the drive-in, and I really wanted there to be a Fish concert that aired at the drive-in, because we are literally like a stone's throw from Weekapaug, like on the road of Weekapaug, and I thought that would have been amazing. And that is very inside baseball for people that don't know what we're talking about at the moment. But that was great. And if you ever come down to Musqueamicut Beach, they have a golf cart for the crew to ride around that like pick up trash and stuff. Maybe I'll get you to get a ride on the golf cart around the beach.
I'll take
with the executive director there. But this is all fantastic stuff. And I'm really excited to get to know you more.
Sure.
Moving it back towards the bank for a bit, and I'm going to start a new podcast just so that you and I can chat about nothing for 3 hours.
I'm down. Yeah, this is like what this is what I envision, just getting on with someone and just
I know
talking for a couple of hours and just kind of seeing where it goes. Yeah.
So what are there any special like incentives, any reasons, any specific people that should be calling Eastern Bank and contacting them and seeing what's up?
So it's funny you say that. Right now, we don't, but in about a week, we're actually starting a little bit of a promotion for our home equity line of credit. So when a customer applies for a home equity line of credit for over $400,000, we require a full interior appraisal, which can cost the customer anywhere from like $490 to $650. Well, for about a month or so, starting on March 26th, we're actually waiving the fee anytime the bank is going to require an interior appraisal. Now, that $400,000 threshold, that's always going to trigger an interior appraisal. But there's also other situations where an interior appraisal could come up. And for that period of time, the bank is actually going to waive that fee. So that's a nice chunk of change for someone to kind of get a discount on. And then next month sometime, we usually do one every spring. I don't have the exact dates. I don't think they've come out with it yet. But we're giving away a little bit of free money. You
Everybody
open
loves
up a checking.
everybody loves that.
Everybody loves free money, Ben. They do. Just like a lot of banks do them. But if you open up a checking account, set up direct deposit, you can earn up to like $350. And what a better time with how expensive gas prices and just how expensive everything is. To get an extra $350, I think could make the world for a lot of people. So yeah, have people keep their ears open for that stuff.
I love it. All of your contact information is in the description of this episode, wherever people are watching or listening to that. Mark, is there anything that you'd like to leave people with before we say goodbye today?
No, I just think if, I pride myself on being genuine. So if anybody is looking for, a banker or a bank that kind of takes those things into consideration or anything like that, feel free to reach out. And if anybody else has any podcasts that they need a guest for, I'm a talker, Ben. That's the other thing. Like once I start talking, it's tough for me to turn it off.
I'm so excited to get to know you more. This is awesome. I do a sort of nonsense stream with some friends that are other professional creators that we're always, I know that it's not the most professional, like I'm in a t-shirt and whatever on the small business podcast, but that's my business. That's what we do.
Sure.
But we have a channel that's like only for fun, stupid, ridiculous stuff. And it's literally called Come Waste Your Time. So you'll have to join us on there sometime to just talk music and whatever, and we'll just all hang out.
Please, I would love to. Yeah, that would be great.
That would be so much fun. Wonderful stuff. The most genuine banker that I've ever spoken to in my entire life, Mr. Mark Engles. Check him out at Eastern Bank and send him an email there. Thank you, Mark. I can't wait to talk to you soon.
Ben, thank you. Thank you for having me. I'll see you tomorrow morning.
See you tomorrow morning. Oh man, that was Mark Engles, ladies and gentlemen. What a terrific person. Like, I'm literally so excited. I realized that we maybe spent 11 of 19 minutes talking about fish. It is New England, so I'm assuming that some people that are out there listening were completely with us on that. And for those of you that weren't, I'm so sorry. But there's terrific deals. Eastern Bank giving away some free money and helping people out during this time period, especially with that interior appraisal situation starting March 26th. So check all of that out. Check out Mark. And if you know anybody that should be a guest on the New England Small Business Podcast, send me an email, ben@321.media. See you soon.